it's Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Today's video is going to be my kind of like midway point for the Disney Princess Project Pan. This was an original project pan created by Jessica over at Beauty and Baseball, and this was a makeup project pan. But because I couldn't participate in that, I decided to do it a reading challenge using the same concept. So I had to pick books that had colors that belong to certain princesses. Does that make sense? So I think you could pick either 5 or 7 for the project pan, and since this was reading and I read already anyway, I decided to pick 7 books. I will leave my original video linked up in the cards so you guys can see it if you're interested, because that video has all the links to the Goodreads in case you guys are interested to know what the books are about, because I'm not very good at explaining. So this project started on May 10th and it goes all the way through September 10th. So we're right at the middle. So I have about 2 months left, and I remembered I had to do this because Amanda just posted a video today, not about this, but a book related video. So it reminded me that I needed to do this. So thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much for reminding. So I'm just gonna get started with the books. Like I said, I picked 7 and I've only read 3. I've read more than 3, but I've only read 3 out of the ones that I had picked. So I'm gonna start with Fairest, and this is, I have my list here, for Rapunzel for the color Lavender, because of the little eyeshadow here. This book, not my favorite. I gave it 3 stars, but that's like very forced 3 stars. This book talks about Maleficent, or they don't call her Maleficent, I think they just call her the Queen. I can't remember. But this story is about how she was before she became the evil queen that she is known for. This book is not very big, but about 3/4 of this book I found so annoying because it was all rainbows and flowers and roses and unicorns. She was like the happiest lady ever, and loving towards baby Snow White, and a loving wife and a great queen, and even her employees, not employees, servants, loved her and everything. And she just became evil. She experienced something that I don't think was enough to turn a person that evil. Maybe I'm just cold and insensitive, but I didn't think it was enough to turn her this mean. You guys are familiar with the concept of insta love, 2 people meet and bam, they're in love. She became she was insta evil. From one day to the next, she just became evil and hated everyone and was jealous of Snow White, and it's just, I didn't buy the story, mainly, I guess you can say. So that's why I only gave it 3 stars. I could have given it 2.5, but I did enjoy the first half of the book, but then when the sweetness and the good things were, I never thought that she was going to turn evil, because I was like, oh, well, I'm 3/4 in and she's still good, but I didn't quite like it. So I mean, it was okay. I finished it, I read it. It's a quick read, but it's not the greatest. Then for Aurora, I picked the color gray. And for that, I chose An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Sabaa or Sabah? I don't know. But this is a kind of like a fantasy world. This has multiple points of views. This is based on an empire type world. And you have this girl who has a brother who has been accused of something and taken prisoner, and then you have another guy who is kind of like a soldier in the Emperor's army, and they're called the Masks. I think that's what they're called, the Masks. I think so. And then you experience their story separately, and then eventually their stories combine and entwined, and that's when the rest of the book happens. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, and it was left on a cliffhanger, and I already knew that there was a sequel because it's in the back. So I right away went ahead and picked up the second one, and I read it. I really enjoyed it, but I just after finishing this, I realized that there's plans for books 3 and 4. So I was like, oh great, the story's not over. There's more, which is good because I enjoyed the story that is being told in this series. But I'm trying to close up as many series as I can this year, and I didn't really want to start a new one, but I haven't. I don't know why in the world I thought this was a duology. I don't know where I got that idea from, but no, this is at least a 4-book series, so I'm just gonna have to wait until the other ones come out so I can finish the story. Really liked it, really recommend it, and like I said, 4 out of 5 stars. Then the last book that I read is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt, and this book is massive. This is like 800 pages, and this was for the Princess Moana, and the color for her was tan. So I picked like from the spine the color right here. I figured that would count for 10. And this book is about a young boy, Decker something. Theo Decker. And this story starts, I think, when he's 13, if I'm not mistaken, 13 or 14. And we see him grow into an adult. I think he's in his 40s by the time this book ends. And this starts with him. His parents are separated, and then his mother unexpectedly dies during an accident that happens towards the beginning of the book. And then it also, how can I say this? I'm really bad at knowing what's a spoiler or not, so I'm sorry if I spoil something. But there's also a painting involved that Theo ends up with, and then you don't really, the painting's not really like talked about. Like the painting is brought up at the beginning of the book, and then you kind of don't hear about it towards maybe like later on towards the end of the book, maybe the last fourth of the book, and then you realize the importance of it. But most of the book is just about Theo's life, and you know, his parents are separated, so his mom dies, and then he lives with friends, and then he's homeless for a while, and then he goes with his dad, and he just has a very hard life. And then you just go through that journey with him, and he discovers, you know, things about who he is and all this other stuff. And then again, the painting kind of comes back to the picture, and then you realize the importance of that painting all this time. So I liked it, but I think I gave it 3 stars. But I think this book could have been a lot shorter than, I don't know, it's like close to 800 pages. And I think you could have shaved off maybe like 300. I think if this was a 500-page book, it would have been good. There's this scene, I think they're in a hotel room, and I think it's like 100 pages of that one hotel room scene. So it's like, oh, it's too much description for something that's not really significant to the story later on. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it was okay. It was my first book by Donna Tartt. I don't think I'm going to be picking up any more of her books. This is actually one of the ones that has the highest ratings out of her books. And I didn't even like it that much. So I'm afraid that the other books I'm not going to enjoy because I didn't really enjoy this one. You know what I mean? So, yes, that's this one. So that is all I have read. I have 2 months to read the other 4, and I'm just gonna review them with you real quick. For Rapunzel, for the color purple, is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 3rd book in the Mistborn trilogy. And then I have The Boyfriend League by Rachel Hawthorne. This is for the color green, and this is for Merida. Also for Merida, I have Swimming to the Surface, because she has the colors dark green and teal. So this is dark green, The Boyfriend League, and then this is teal, Swimming to the Surface. And then lastly, I have Elsa, which is black, and I have the night film for this one. For this one, I have the audiobook, so maybe I'll just listen to the audiobook like when I go out for a run or something, or in the car. I don't know, but this one shouldn't be a problem. The other 3. The one that does intimidate me though is The Hero of Ages, because this is a big boy, and you know, the typing's pretty small and the lines are close together, whereas opposed to like The Boyfriend League, kind of like the words are, the lines are pretty separated, and the font is kind of big. So this one will take no time. This one, however, I better get on it. And that's it, guys, for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys like to read, please let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books or any book recommendations. A reader always enjoys book recommendations, so let me know those also in the comments down. And I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video.